Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So thanks everybody for joining. Happy Friday. As always, we're here to bring you some tidbits of SciComm information. And today our guest speaker is from Astrobites. So really quick, just like a quick highlight of scope. I am part of the NASA Scope team. I am the community outreach coordinator. And the community that we serve are the NASA Science Activation Teams, early career scientists such as yourselves, and the domain in which we serve is Earth and Space Science and Engineering Education. And our practice is to create inspiring educational materials that are effective, true to science, and inclusive of all audiences. We are a best practices community and a knowledge stewarding community. So let me just quickly dive into our savory snack today. So our savory snack is from Thailand, Nang Kai Thot. It is chicken breast skin, which is first boiled, then seasoned or floured before dropping into hot oil. And the common seasonings include cilantro, soy sauce, garlic powder, and chicken flavoring powder. So in the chat really quick, if you all want to guess on what you think it is normally served with, what type of dipping sauce. So sweet chili sauce, tempura sauce, rice wine vinegar, or barbecue sauce. So I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to put your guesses in the chat and then we'll reveal them. Let's see. All of the above? Yeah, literally same. Rice wine vinegar, that's a good one too. Sweet chili, yeah, that's okay. I think almost everybody has theirs in. So whoever said sweet chili sauce, you're right. But also anybody who said all the above, same, because I would also eat them with all of the above. Cool. So there is your savory snack. It looks delicious. I wish I had some here with me. Okay, we're gonna dive in really, really quick. This is going to be just a quick introduction to our guest speaker, Sakya, and she is visiting us from Italy. And so she is an aspiring observational astrophysicist, currently pursuing her PhD in Italy. And her research focuses on observations of high Z galaxies to understand their formation and evolution. She graduated from the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Pune, with a BS MS dual degree specializing in physics. As I mentioned, she's also an author of Astrobites, and is coming ready with all of these super amazing tips and tricks for science communication outreach. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you. Okay, I think you should be able to share your screen now.
Yep. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, actually, I
Hi.
think it might be showing your notes.
All right. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Great.
Just give me a second. Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Saukya, and I'm here on behalf of the Astrobites collaboration to talk about what's best SciComm practices we follow to make sure that we effectively communicate our science to the audience. So we had a fellow author, Cole, in your last meeting, who introduced you all to what Astrobites is and what the various facets of Astrobites are. And today I'll be talking about what approaches, what strategies we take so that we present the best content to our readers. So to briefly recap, we present one research paper per day in a brief format such that it's accessible to all undergraduate students, which means that we have already defined our target audience and we make sure that we cater our content to their understanding. We also have a statement of inclusivity, which you can find on the website. So this ensures that um, um, there is our content reaches the everyone despite their minority status and encourage diversity in science. So what do? We post summary of new research articles every day. Through this, we are training graduate students who join us as authors in science communication. Science communication is very important in a life of an academic, and it's really an eye-opening experience when you sit down and write a bite and understand how difficult it actually is. So it gives great experience to graduate students who, in general, not only to general public, but wants to communicate science to anyone. The authors are also encouraged to write bites on topics outside their research interest so that not just the authors, even the readers are not restricted to a very particular topic. This presents as a large variety of topics that on Astrobites. And because of this large variety of topics, Astrobites also serve as a huge resource bank for anyone who wants to start off with astronomy and astrophysics. So what sets us apart is my favorite part about Astrobites is how we use humor and very approachable language to write our Astrobites. Like once in one of my bites, I also linked science parody song from YouTube in my bite, and when it clicked me that I could do it, it was so much fun. So do check that out. And along with linking such fun things, we also cross-link other bites covering similar topics in that bite. And we also sometimes link our Astrobites to articles outside Astrobites. So this extensive cross-linking is very helpful for someone who wants to study a topic until they are satisfied. You can just keep clicking links and keep reading more and more. So we write Astrobites beyond research papers, which includes things like conference coverages, where we cover conferences like the AAS meetings, and other conferences, which gives readers much more deeper insight of what's happening in the field of astronomy and astrophysics. We do interviews of astronomers and astrophysicists all over the world. This helps us humanize the scientists and the science they do. So we also have various guides like career navigation, like how to become an astrophysicist, what to do when you go to a conference, or how to prepare for a night at a telescope, and various other guides, so that aspiring astrophysicists actually understand what it is to become an astrophysicist, and it's not just about peeping through an eyehole of eyepiece of a telescope. We also encourage undergraduate students and guests to contribute articles to Astrobites. So undergraduate students can share their research, guests can share their research or guides, personal experiences, or any other thing that is in the Astrobites readership. Um, and this helps us broaden our reach and interests. Yeah, I think that's it. And I can take any questions regarding Astrobites.
I'll ask a quick question. Um, so you said you've been on the project or been part of Astrobites for like 6 months, right? So in your 6 months, what do you feel like are the most important tips of information that like me, who's like not really like astrophysicist, but what are like some best science communication, like what should I do as like if I'm trying to be a science communication person, like what would you recommend?
Yeah, I think I got a lot of advice from my friends who are not astronomers because they don't have any prerequisites to understand astronomy and astrophysics. They tend to give
Mm-hmm.
more insight on where your explanation is more jargonous or complicated, and they help you understand what you think is a prerequisite and what actually is a prerequisite. So
Yeah.
share your science with all your friends, and they will probably give a lot of good insights on how to improve science communication.
Cool. That's really helpful. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have a question. So it's basically related to the career guidance. So actually, I really want to become astrophysicist one day. And the thing is, I have done my engineering in electronics and communication. And
Okay.
now I have like a good 7 years of work experience in software engineering.
Okay.
So, which is already also related to the AI and all, and
Mm-hmm.
um, like business intelligence. So
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, like, what should I prepare before so that universities can accept my college application, because they mostly see that I do not have the background of astronomy related, so it will be tough for me, and they see that I have changed my career path also. So that's what I want to know, like what should I prepare first? Like should I go for the some publishing papers and all, or I mean I'm always active on the astronomy, but that is only on my personal side.
Okay. So yes, a basis in astronomy and astrophysics is probably important, but I've seen a lot of engineers have uh, found it an easy move to come to astrophysics because of their computational skills. So there are a lot of programs. If you are choosing to do a PhD, let's say in astrophysics in the
Yeah.
US,
Mm-hmm.
I think the first year or two you have to do mandatory courses, which will help you build that base. And even in Europe, there are certain universities that offer you courses in astrophysics. So if you convince them that at least your physics is strong enough, I think it should not be a big problem to start with astro. Um, and Fields like AI and machine learning are in a boom even in astronomy and astrophysics. So I think, sure, if you have 7 years of experience, I think that's really amazing. And maybe any professor who is working with machine learning and AI would be interested if you reach out to them. If you want more advice, you can always you can see if Astrobites has any resources regarding this. You can probably just use the search bar or go to um, the beyond section where you might find such career advice. I'm not sure whether it caters very specifically to you, but it might give you some idea about grad school and what is uh, what is cutting edge right now in astronomy.
Okay, so even if I apply for MS right now, like I have only done bachelor's, so even if I apply for MS and if I know computational skills, would that be enough?
Yes, I think that would be enough. Yes,
Okay, thank you so much.
no problem.
Okay, we have some questions in the chat. So the first one is sometimes articles and presentations for the public are too simple. And other times when the public learns that we don't know everything, they assume that we know nothing. So how do you balance avoiding too much science jargon and keeping the complexity of the topic?
Yes, so bigger picture is important, but not to a point that we say that we don't know nothing. Like we can't have an astrobite where we say, this will explain why humans exist. That's actually a little complex. And astronomy is one of those fields which is actually difficult to explain why we do it to general public. Um, so I usually tell them about how science and technology go hand in hand, and the technology we develop along with the science is what helps the humanity. And maybe there we also discover science that might help humanity sometime in the future. Um, but yes, we have to uh, try and give them a big picture within the field and not make it too generic.
Thank you. So another question. So how do you balance humor for engagement purposes with clear communication and making sure it was taken seriously? I was always told that humor had no place in science writing, but it sounds like you've found success. So how do you balance the two?
So usually it's the community. Where once we write a bite, we share it within the group for people to read and let us know if anything sounds off. Uh, I think that's where diversity also comes in hand, so that we get different perspectives um, about the same topic. Uh, so if someone finds it not, that it's not doing its job as a humor, but something else, then we usually edit it out. And I don't think we have seen any comments that say that we have made a harmful statement. So, and humors are usually like funny puns that does not target any person or any particular topic. And like I said, it's science parody songs. I don't think it should be offensive. So I think the community is what makes sure that nothing goes wrong is when you try to simplify the work.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like the audience too, because like I feel like if you're talking to like a younger generation stuff, like they might appreciate the humor.
Yes.
But I've like had professors too that are like super strict and they just want the science, like no funny,
Yeah.
nothing to break the ice. So
Yeah.
yeah, getting to know your audience is like
Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
And
gonna
because
be
we
helpful.
know we are catering to students, undergraduate students,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little more liberating because you sort of know that they will appreciate the humor if it's not
Yeah.
offensive, and it's not people who would expect like strict content. So yeah, knowing your audience is also a key point.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Is there any last minute questions?
I have one more question. Say that there is like already a lot of information on about black holes or say that exoplanets, right? But say that if I do my own research on exoplanets and I want to publish it somewhere, is that possible or is it will be something vague?
Um, I'm actually not sure how publishing works, but maybe trying out research using the open data by yourself is pretty good. One, you can probably understand what it is actually to become an astronomer, and maybe if you reach a good uh, a good level in your research, you can probably present it as a proposal to professors who have an open PhD position to show them that you have an idea of what you have to do and how much astronomy you know. So maybe it's a good thing to try, but I am not sure about what it takes to publish it because I have not published any
That's
papers
okay.
yet. But what they ask for when you want to publish a paper.
Okay, so
So
say that as you said that we can reach out to the professor and then we can showcase our knowledge about on astronomy or so. So when we reach out to them, what should we all prepare for? Like what are the required mandatory things that we should know so that it portrays a good image?
yes, so what I know professors appreciate the most is understanding of their research interests. So you have to read up on what they work on and make sure that what you are presenting to them matches what they are working on. I think that's one thing they really appreciate. They absolutely hate generic emails
Yeah.
because they don't have time to go through such things. Um, and uh, and yeah, I think a good reasoning of why you want to do astronomy and astrophysics also helps them, other than what they say are very generic statements like, the stars inspire me.
No, yeah, I can.
So
So is it
let's
like is it same like I know that this is required for the PhD students, but can we also do for the masters? Like can we read?
masters have a different application process um, compared to a PhD.
True.
So a lot of times it's just submitting a statement of purpose, and
Hmm.
the university admissions committee will just go through it and admit you. When it comes to PhD, it can be either such an admission process, or there are situations where a professor directly hires you as a PhD
Yeah.
student. So it depends on university. So if you have a particular research topic in mind, I would suggest you find professors who work on similar topics. That way you will know which universities you have to apply to and what's their admission process.
Oh,
I think that's the best way to approach.
yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Can I make a few questions? Do we
Yeah,
still
go
have
ahead.
time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you for your presentation. I guess my first question was like, how do you became involved with Astrobites in the first place?
Yes, so I've been reading Astrobites from my undergraduate years, so I knew that they have an yearly application when you become a graduate student. So if you're a graduate student, you can apply to write to Astrobites. The application usually comes out sometime in November. Um, so they ask you to give a brief statement of purpose and a sample Astrobite, and if 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 the hiring committee finds it good, you will be appointed as an author. So do look out for the advertisement on the website. It will definitely come up soon.
And like, what has been like your time commitment with Astrobites, considering the fact that you're also working on a PhD?
Yes, so the commitment is very minimal. You usually have 3 astrobites to write and 3 to edit in 3 months. So that's like um, one to write and one to edit per month. So writing is up to you how long you take to write one, and I usually take a couple of days, and it usually takes a day for you to edit someone else's bite. So, and if you are jam-packed on your schedule, you can always request uh, to upload a queue post, which is like set of posts ready to be uploaded when someone has some time constraint and they can't write their bite. So it's not all hectic. You can write it at your pace and how much ever you can.
Awesome. And my last question is like, what like skills do you think you have developed during your time in Astrobites?
Um, so the two things I would say is, one, to break down jargon as much as I can. And in the process of trying to communicate research, you get a better understanding of the bigger picture in terms of research, at least. So it's sometimes really difficult when you read a paper and you suddenly understand what's going on. Or so when you sit down to write a bite, you understand what the open questions actually are and what the researchers on the paper are trying to actually address, and how the answers have influenced the field. So it gives you a clearer research understanding while you're trying to communicate to the others.
And I also put the link in the chat for anybody who's interested in maybe applying for Astrobites.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Does anybody have any last minute questions before we wrap up?
So I'm guessing that Astrobites is also part of Science Bites, right?
Yes, so Science Bites is technically a collection of a lot of Astrobite-like websites, and there is, sister websites of Astrobites like Astrobitos, and which writes Astrobites in another language. There is Astro Sound Bites, which is podcasts of the bytes we write, and we also have other topics like physics, evolution, cancer, medicine, and like the list is literally unending. So do check out Science Bites. Maybe you will find topics of interest that is other than astronomy and astrophysics.
Yeah, I think there's like over 20 something different
Yes.
fields. There's like a SciComm bite. There's yeah, like a bunch of different fields.
For
So
biology, chemistry, for engineering, everything.
yeah, so there's kind of like the same type of thing for every
Yes.
discipline.
Yes.
So yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, Sakya, for your time and for joining us from so far away. We really
But I hope
appreciate
I
it.
answered all the questions, right?
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you that are interested, we're going to have our next Savory session on September 27th. And that one will be about digital learning, digital tools to make like virtual tours and basically all online learning. So if you're doing any type of online learning or building online like digital materials for like classrooms or anything like that, you'll definitely want to join our next session. But yeah, thank you all so much. And yeah, if you have any other questions or anything comes up later, feel free to email me. But yeah,